Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Football Focus SG podcast with myself, Faiz, and also our usual panel of analysis people, Harun Nafi, Mr. JB, welcome back. And we have a new guest in our episode today, Mr. Jeff. How are you doing? How are you guys all doing today?
Great, all good.
Yes, all good for me.
All right. How has football been treating you guys? I mean, we've now SPL is back. How are you guys keeping up with the SPL so far?
I think it's been good. Yeah, it's been some time since we had football. Even though it was just 3 weeks ago, the Euros finished, and now we have the Olympics ongoing. But who watches the Olympics as much? But yeah, it's good to have our SPL back. So yeah, good matches. I'm still anticipating the Lion City against Lion City Sailors against Tampines Rovers. I think it's been postponed for 2 weeks already, I guess. Or I think so. Hopefully we get that match soon. Yeah, 1 week. I think 1 week plus or 2 weeks. Yeah.
It's been quite a while. Yeah, quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. JB, how's the football to you so far with all the news that's going on?
Yeah, football has been great. Before you know it, the Premier League the Premier League fever will eventually hit us again. But the in betweens have been good with Olympics. The recent Euros, and then you got your Copa, and then Olympics, and then in the mix, I managed to get a bit of Gold Cup inside as well, and then now the SPL is back. So it's been good. A few surprises for the SPL. Yep. Looking
Right.
forward to the next few matches. Yeah.
Right. And of course, we would like to know more with our special guest here, Mr. Jeff. Share with us a little bit about yourself. When do you start watching football? How are you keeping up with SPL? Share with us a bit of your memories, from how you start watching football since young. What inspires you to watch football? Share with us.
Well, I will reveal my age then.
I mean, spoiler.
I think the biggest recollection of any sort of football is, of course, the Malaysia Cup days in the local scene. But from the international scene, I still remember Espana 82 as the main big tournament that I kind of involved in or follow, basically because of the Panini stickers that we collect about the clubs, about the World Cup teams.
I think now they still have, right, Panini stickers and all.
They do. Yeah, it was much cheaper back then. So I think it's 10 cents per packet or 20 cents. But anyway, that was my first recollection of international football, which is the World Cup in Spain. I still remember Espana 82. But it only struck that it's a big deal in 86, where maybe I grow a bit older and kind of understand what it's all about. And of course, it's one of the most fantastic World Cup that in recent memories, as far as I remember. I think maybe it's because the first one that I follow closely, but Mexico 86 has been fabulous. Not only until now we talk about some of the goals, the emergence of Maradona and a few others, but yeah, it's one of the best World Cup tournaments for sure. And yeah, then follow on from that, it's a lot of Malaysia Cups, a lot of semi-pro league before they get into the pro league, and then to where we are right now in terms of the local soccer. Here and there, I do follow English Premier League. But my team is not in the Premier League. It is way down somewhere.
I mean, you can share who you actually support.
Well, it's in League 2. Good thing it get promoted to League 1. So it's going to be League 1 for this upcoming season. Well, it's Bolton Wanderers. So
I think to be promoted soon.
I hope. But yeah, I'm happy that it still exists. We almost became a bury and totally got wiped off, but it exists. It still exists. So I'm happy for that. Let's hope we can slowly come back into Premier League and the last time I subscribed to any English Premier League season packages with cable TV was the last season Bolton was in the Premier League. Since then, it has been watching streaming.
Uh, I mean, to be fair, I think a
that's
lot of
enough.
people do watch streaming whether they are in EPL or not, right? I mean that's how it is nowadays. But in terms of local, like share with us, like of course, like you say that you watch since the Malaysia Cup era time. But what about now? Like, um, do you follow every single SPL matches or do you follow just specifically one club? Like how do you normally watch or attend to SPL matches?
Yeah, from time to time, I think the big matches. I mean, it depends also in terms of when they play. But the big games, some heavyweight games, I do follow them. But you know, the one that I follow most is Geylang matches, right? Pretty much that's the team that I'm supporting locally.
All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about the SPL matches that has been going on. After all, this is an episode that has been pretty much after about 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks now since we actually last have a chat with each other. So a lot of things has happened in the SPL, but I just want to go through a little bit with you guys, like some of the results that are happening in the S League and share with us a bit of your thought. I mean, let's just start off with tonight itself. As of per recording today or tonight, LB Rex losing to Tanjung Pagar 2-1. Any thoughts about, LB Rex first loss of the season to Tanjung Pagar? Harun Nazri, what do you think about their result? He actually blows the tire race open now for Lion City Sailors to catch up.
Yeah, I think the result caught everyone by surprise. But after coming back from the international break, I think Tanjung Pagar actually did a little bit better than before. I think there was improvements. Now they've transitioned into the 3-5-2 system. And it's interesting. Of course, we have players, new emerging players like Fatullah. I think he's been great for them over the past 2 matches that I saw. I didn't get a chance to watch the full match earlier, but it's I guess it's a shock result for everyone, but I got the sense that it was coming, and it's great for our local football that of course it's not good for Albrecht that they lost the match, but it's good for us as neutrals that Albrecht lost the match and now it blows the title race wide open, and it'll make it an interesting league to follow as we go along. Yeah, but good result for Tanjung Pagar, and I think they deserve it.
Yeah. And Mr. JB, what do you think? I mean, like what Aaron as you said earlier, like, okay, in a way, it's interesting for neutral fans to see a tire race being pretty much open now. But does anyone actually expect Albirex to have their first loss, not against with pretty much the one they are chasing for the title, but it's against Tanjung Pagar? No disrespect, because, Tanjung Pagar do have very inconsistent results throughout the season, including last season. So how much of the result actually surprises you as well, Mr. JP?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely surprises everyone. The fact that I actually thought that Albirex's first loss will actually be in the last game against Lion City Sailors when the league restarted.
Yeah.
So to actually see the result tonight, it's really a huge surprise for everyone, especially for Albirex. But I agree with what Harun Nazri mentioned. Ever since after the break, I think Tanjung Pagar is sort of, I would say, have really improved themselves. I'm not sure the kind of work that they're doing during the COVID break from football, but yes, definitely, slowly proving themselves by picking themselves up, especially with a huge win against Hougang, and then unfortunately falling down against Geylang after that, and then picking up a very important win. And yes, I believe before tonight's game, if Albirex were to get the 3 points, they would be 7 points clear from Lion City Sailors. So I think with this loss, it's only 4 points gap now, and all the more we should be looking forward to the match between Lion City Sailors and Tampines Rovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And over to you, Mr. Jeff. Like with 2 games in hand now for Lion City Sailors, and do you actually think that this might be the year that actually Lion City Sailors could actually overcome?
Nothing less than that. I think with the kind of money that they are spending, if they can't get this title, I really don't know what
I mean, they are dubbed like
what's
the new
happening to
Man
them.
City of the SPL. So
Yeah, it's not only the players, right? It's also if you look at the back end, the backroom staff that they are bringing as well. So we are not just talking about the 11, 14 players that show up or play in the week. So the depth. Can you imagine that Faris Ramli and Adam Swandi is on the bench?
yeah,
That would walk into any other first 11 in any other teams besides Lion City Sailors. So they have the team, they have the bench, they have the backroom staff. They definitely have a very strong support from the management. If they can't pull it off this year, I have really no words to describe actually. So yeah, so I think for today it's definitely a surprise, but that is what is expected from Tanjung Pagar anyway. They are all, you never know what will show up, right? They will play the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They fall to Gelang, who struggle, but then they can beat Albirex. Individually, they have a lot of good players, and I think I did speak earlier in the season about if Tanjung Pagar can really click early, they will be a very, very strong contender. But unfortunately, they didn't. Because they have the experience, they have people with big names, know how to manage the games, that can do it. So now you are seeing glimpse of it, but not enough consistency. But it's a good mix, right? It always try to upset, but and again, I agree with Nazri about the Fatullah. Today he assisted one. I think the first goal was his assist. So he's definitely breaking into the scene. As far as I'm concerned, from Tanjung Pagar. And Albirex, I think, and again, another factor that Lion City can do better is because Albirex, their top scorer, is out for a while. Suboy is out. So like it or not, there's gonna be a gap because Suboy has been banging goals. He and the same way as Doi is doing it for Hougang. So it's gonna be a big miss for sure. And it's only to Lion City advantage. The stars are aligned for Lion City to get something this season.
yeah, most definitely. I mean, speaking about surprises, what did you guys think about Hougang ever since the international break? Things are not looking too good. They did well prior international break. Their points were kind of like in touch with the top two, but now they seem to kind of fall off a little bit after losing 4-1 to Tanjung Pagar and losing to Albirex. Mr. JB, were you surprised by the dip of form? Or I mean, they do have a lot of injuries. Ijaki was out. They do have some other players, key players in key areas are out. And were you surprised that Hougang are struggling at the moment?
Yeah, surprise probably, but I think last season they almost repeated the same dip in form, especially in the final third of the league. Not sure if it's contributed to the injuries of the players or something like that, but yeah, I mean honestly it's been quite disappointing for them. They have the players as well, who is, I would say, experienced enough. It's just a shame that some of the up and coming players are injured, like Indraki and all those. But yeah, at the end of the day, I feel for Hougang it's quite disappointing for them because I do believe that they have much more to offer. They are almost on par with Lion City Sailors. I almost credit them that highly, but yeah, unfortunately, the recent string of bad results isn't to their favor, probably due to just being unlucky, I guess. I wouldn't say it's a dip in form, probably, but I'll definitely look forward to their next few games to see actually whether this continued dip in form really it will eventually cost them, because if you look at the Premier League table right now, it's pretty far off between the top four and and the bottom four. So
Yeah.
So I would definitely expect
Lions up throughout the whole season, saying that they have been better this season compared to last season. Share with us a little bit. Like, what do you think that this win is gonna help in the next match against Hougang, which is struggling right now?
Yeah, I think you said it well there. I think I've been backing Young Lions from the start of the campaign because it's just a different Young Lions altogether. I feel that the vibe is different, the way that they're playing is different. It's not the same Young Lions that we see a year ago, a season ago, or 2 seasons ago. I think Coach Felipe has totally turned it around. Of course, I think credit not only goes to him, but his assistant as well. And of course, the players having knowledge that Coach Nazri went through some episode with regards to illness. And I think that played a little part in the players, maybe revitalizing the squad. But yeah, I wasn't surprised. I'll be very honest. I wasn't surprised that they got the win against Balestier. It was coming, before the international break. I think if there's a team that has been consistent throughout in terms of performance, not in terms of result, I'm speaking in terms of performance, I think it has got to be Young Lions. The way that they play before the international break and now, it's almost the same. Of course, there are matches up and down, but the concept of their play, it's the same. It doesn't change. They're trying to be on the front foot. They're trying to attack. They're trying to play their football, and that's positive to see. Of course, now they have Jacob Mahler coming back. If there's all this saying about the under 23 rulings and whatnot, but I think if all of us watching the SPL take a look at the Young Lions squad, we have some good players in there, and we have some good players spread across the league as well. So, of course, we don't expect much from the Young Lions. It is a developmental squad, but they're proving their money's worth, I feel. And with the win against Balestier, I'm not putting crazy expectations on them. I think before the season ends, if we can get another 2 or 3 more wins for them, I think that would be great for Coach Felipe and for the rest of the squad, leading up to the end of season tournament that we are all looking forward to, I believe. So yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Mr. Jeff, would you agree with Farnazi about Young Lions' perspective? Like, did they actually really improve compared to last season? I mean, yes, result aside, they did perform well, but this is only their first win of the season. And next up, they're facing Hougang, which is struggling. And do you still believe that Hougang can actually put the pressure on the top four? Or is it Young Lions going to put the pressure on the rest of the bottom four that's going on?
So the consistent thing that Young Lions have over the past 2 seasons is their league position. They're still at the bottom.
Ooh, I
But,
mean, that's pretty harsh. but performance-wise,
but
what
that's
do
true.
you say? But it's true.
But I agree. I think one of the things that so I always say Young Lions have 2 Young Lions: the weekday match Young Lions and the weekend match Young Lions. So and this is also because the fact that on weekdays they have more players that are not available. So sometimes you may get an easier match against the Young Lions if you play them on the weekdays in comparison if you play them over the weekend.
Yeah.
But I do agree that one thing that is consistent across with Young Lions this season is the approach of the game. The philosophy remains, and we know that they are trying to do something. They are trying to do there is a system that they are working on, which I actually like. Seeing how they are doing it. There's a few standout There's a few players that are that are also helping out in the team. 2 things for me is Coach Felipe having that system and keeping the system throughout the season. 2 rounds of games and they are still pretty consistent. And the second part to me, which kind of helped boost Young Lions, is Jacob Mahler coming back and making himself available for the squad. Again, at the start of the season, I did say in one of the podcasts that they will lose the leadership of Jacob Mahler because that guy is gone. And one of the quote unquote issues with Young Lions is that they change their squad almost every season, as much as Albirex, but without the structure of Albirex. So
Yeah.
so it's kind of the inconsistencies and the changes of personality, including your captain and the senior players. So having Jacob Muller back kind of helped them. I feel that brings some stability, some experience, some familiarity in terms of who's captaining or leading the team on the field itself, right?
But is it
I think
something that you
that's a
see
good.
like a pattern in Young Lions? Is it like there are changes of, like example, like what you said, this kind of changes that they make? Is this a, is this what affecting them in terms of position wise on the table, like last season and the season before and even now?
Yeah,
This kind of
definitely.
changes.
Because yeah, definitely, right? Because first thing is, you are not going to play. You're not going to play very hard because once you cross that 23 years old, you won't be playing for that team. So you're not fighting for your contract after that. So that's always going to be an issue, right?
So it's more like an
What the best
audition kind of club.
Yeah, the best you can hope is you are the star of under 23, and then the bigger clubs kind of sign you up and put you on a longer contract. That's the best that we can do. And then those in the fringe, those who are in the middle, top middle, kind of get into the lower teams, and then those who really don't make it probably will stop playing football professionally. So it is a trend. I don't know. I always have my doubts in the squad and the concept of it, but given where they are, I think for this season, I like the philosophy that the approach that they are playing and how they are playing. Hopefully, they do better with the end of the year tournament, including when also there's a few other. And the good thing also, they are including other under 23 players from other teams, because that is also good, right? For me, I feel. But going back to your question on whether they can do an upset and in Hougang, so I think Hougang is wounded right now. So either they strike back or they continue digging their grave and get lower.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, well, we're gonna talk about just one more club left, and that is the one that's doing well after the international break, Geylang International. They got two big results of 3-1s back to back. And I'm gonna let Mr. Jeff, who is a Ultra Eagle fan, to start off. Share with us, like what changed before the international break and after? Like what do you see the difference between the two basically over the international period? Was there any changes?
Well, definitely. There's definitely change in the composition of the team. We were leaking goals, for sure. So the reinforcement of having Afik in defense, and really, we also have Abdul Karim, but he haven't played yet. But I think just the fact that we have more cover in the defense helped us a bit more experience there. We still have a spoil of riches in the midfield area, but some players are coming back. Players like Umar coming back, which is key for us. Danny Kim, I don't see as a fanciful player, but he's going to be a very efficient, effective player. I will always say, 7 points player that, every game he will at least give you a 7 points, right, because of the consistency.
Yeah.
So there is definitely some playing personnel that came in and make some sort of difference, and also we bring in a bit more experienced folks at the back, so it kind of helped to stabilize the back. We're still leaking goal, we're still conceding, but it's not that bad because we get the goals on the other end. The other thing that changed, if you look at the bench, the backroom stuff, I think there's also changes there. If you noticed,
Yeah.
And also I feel we try to win rather than try to play pretty. The last game, honestly, against Tanjong Pagar, we win ugly.
Yeah. I mean, there's a
to be
few. It's more like you guys capitalize on the chances, and also, well, you guys taken the set piece really well. You
correct.
take charge of it.
Yeah, because we have players that has a good passing range in Barry Maguire and in Barry Maguire and a few others. Um, so we capitalize on that, and we have somebody who is crafty in Moresh up front and Amy. They are linking up well for sure.
Moresh
So if we
seems to
can,
be settling in well in Singapore now, huh?
yeah, he's pretty happy. So if we can pin the ball and get into the right spaces, and you have players like Moraes who have a very good first touch, and that will definitely put defenders at the back foot, and he has space to run in. So, but we will not, if you look at the last game, it's not the way that typically usually Gelang play with like triangle short passes and try to bring the ball up. We do get our breaks open up, and then we pin a long one, and then we try to flood forward. So there's a change definitely in how we are playing. I guess winning is more important now for the team, given the very bad run. So we take it,
I mean, it's a very
whatever it
crucial
comes.
win. I mean, the fact that Tanjong Pagar
Yeah, it
did
was
had a crucial win before, so you guys are
right.
level on points, and with
Exactly.
Young Lions just getting the first win. So is the pressure there for you as an Eagle fan?
Nah, not really. I think this season is pretty much a write-off already. um, the best we can do is to stay at number 5. The league table says it all. It's a tale of two halves. So the
Yeah.
top 4 and the bottom 4, the gap is like 11 points or 10 points. So unless Tampines or Hougang has a extremely bad run, and either Tanjong Pagar or Gelang has an extremely good run, I don't think the top 4 is going to be touched one way or the other.
Yeah, with Balestier also, I think after they come back, they're not doing too well in terms of result-wise.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think, you know what? Yeah, all the best for Geylang. Hopefully they can stay fifth. Or maybe, if Tampines slip up, why not, right? So anyway, we're gonna move on to the transfer rating session time. So just gonna explain a little bit to you, Mr. Jeff, as well, because you knew. So basically, I'm just gonna share just 5 players that have, relatively well-known players who had a transfer this season. Give us a rating from 1 to 10. Of course, 1 is bad for club and player. 10 is for best. 10 is best for club and player. 5 can be either or. Best for club, worst for player. Best for player, worst for club. All right. So gonna start off the first one that happened 2 weeks ago, quite a while now, and that is Sergio Ramos joining from Real Madrid to Paris Saint-Germain on a free transfer. Mr. JB, were you surprised by it?
Yes, surprised, but looking at the history that Madrid has, even their golden boy like Raul and Casillas eventually make the exit. So yeah, I mean surprised in the sense that Ramos has been, I think, their best player for the longest time as far as I can remember. Yes, he's a defender. Yes, he's known for the cuts, but he's scoring through penalties or what have you. So moving to PSG, well, I believe it's a good move for him. I'm not sure how old he is, but I think he's already reaching the age where time to take it easy,
Yeah.
enjoy the
He's about
French.
like 34, 35.
Yeah. So I think the French league is a much more tolerable league, I guess, for people of a certain age. No offense to Mr. Jeff and anyone of that age, but yeah, but I believe the French league is definitely a place to go, and I think Ramos uh, at the current spot that he has right now, I think he will definitely fit in PSG. So I would rate it pretty high. I think I would give it probably an 8.
8 out of 10. All right.
Yep, 8 out of 10. Yeah, I think it's great for PSG and great for him because he's experienced enough, and who knows, perhaps with his experience, finally PSG can finally get that all important Champions League holy grail that they've been craving and wanting for. So
Yeah, most definitely. All right, Nazir, what about you? Sergio Ramos.
Um, I'll rate the move 10 out of 10 for me.
Ooh.
PSG is getting a true leader. PSG is getting a winner. PSG is getting a fighter, a warrior. We've seen it before in his performances. It's all about winning. And
It's kind of weird to see
it's-
Sergio Ramos and Neymar teammates now, isn't it?
yeah, but to me, this is football nowadays. Loyalty counts for nothing. You know, at one moment you can be fighting with one another. The next moment you can be hugging one another.
Yeah.
So this is football, and but yeah, like I mentioned, it's a 10 out of 10 for the player and a 10 for 10 for the club. I think with the signing of Ramos, whatever age that he's at, you're signing a winner and you're signing a legend of sorts for Real Madrid, and you know they've been chipping away for the Champions League glory, and you know it only elevates the club up in terms of stature for PSG.
Yeah.
I think they're every season they're making waves, with the signings that they make, and I think they're just one or two signings away before winning the Champions League. Maybe. There's a certain someone in the market now.
Yeah,
So,
we're gonna talk about it,
Yeah.
So let's hold that
Yep.
for a while. But
Yep,
what would,
so-
so you give it 10 out of 10 for that?
10 out of 10 for play and for club. Brilliant move.
Mr. Jeff, over to you. How well do you consider Sergio Ramos' move at the peak of his career now already?
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's not. I'm pretty sure he's not brought in just to win the week in week out games. I think given the French league, they have enough players that can deliver that even without Sergio Ramos. But what is important is his experience and his leadership in the continental games. So that is the key. Whether there's enough, and you bring player of his stature is that he can get an instant respect. In the team, so he doesn't need to build up his credentials, and that should be good. They can have the instant impact. But let's see how he guides the team through the qualifying rounds. I think that will give us a good indicator of how well he has integrated into the PSG setup, for sure. So we'll see.
And
But
this is the first time that Sergio Ramos is going abroad. He's been in La Liga pretty much all his life. So, adapting to a new league, how fast do you think he might do for him, given the experience?
he's an experienced player, and he has played, and he has players that he has played with or against in that team as well. So I don't think it's going to be a big jump. He won't have the same stress and demands. I would assume. So he has to concentrate on the continental games, make sure he delivers there, and just enjoy Paris.
Of course. But what would you give your rating out of 10 for them?
I'll give them an 8. I'll give that an 8 just
8 out of
because
10.
that.
All right.
Yep, 8 out of 10 on both sides.
All right. Moving on to the next player. Just a second player, and then we'll go to the third player, and that's it. Second player, of course, one of the most expensive transfers in EPL as well, Jack Grealish to Manchester City. I think everyone heard about it just recently. Gonna start with you, Harnazi, first. Jack Grealish to Man City. Is it a very good signing for Man City, or is it overhype of English price in the market?
This one is a bit confusing to me because why? I think we all know how Jack Grealish is as a player. He's a brilliant, superb. His ball skills, his ball mastery. When the ball is at his feet, he's beautiful to watch. He's brilliant. But I think the problem comes when we have those Man City already have those kind of players at the club. They have Riyad Mahrez, they have Sterling, they have Phil Foden, and these are positions.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne. These are players who are playing positions which Jack Grealish usually plays in.
Yeah.
Right? He's not the out and out striker. So, but then again, if you talk to Pep, he would say, you bring me all the best players, and then squad rotation will come into play and whatnot. So, but it's from a player standpoint, I think from a fan standpoint, I think it's great that Jack Grealish choose to move to Man City. It only shows what kind of player he is. He wants to compete. He wants to compete for his place in the first 11, and that's great from an outsider's point of view. He doesn't only want to go to, he can sign a new contract with Villa and he'll be a legend over
Which he
there. He
did.
can
He
earn
did
money.
sign a new contract with Villa before moving to Man
Yeah.
City. So,
Yeah, but he can choose to do that and stay at Villa, be a legend. But it's a mark of a player. I think it's a mark of a great player when you choose to venture out because you want to win certain things. You want to play for the best of the best. And all kudos to Jack Grealish. I think it's a 10 out of 10 for Jack Grealish. Why? Because he's now going to play with top players and for the
Yeah.
best manager in the world, and possibly a team that's going to be fighting for the Champions League again. For the club, I think you want to raise the profile of the club. So I understand splurging 100 million. Man City, they have all the money in the world. 100 million is nothing to them. But I think it's going to be interesting how the manager, Mr. Pep Guardiola, uses him for his team. Squad rotation is going to, I think for the past two seasons, we've seen squad rotation, and the balance of the squad is great. I think we've never heard any rumblings of players not being happy, not playing week in, week out. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he fits into the Man City model. He is a Man City kind of player, but with all the players that they have around him, it'll be interesting. It only makes Man City stronger. So I think
So
it's
10 out of 10 for player, but for the club, you're not too sure. So what would you average it out? 8, 9?
For the club, I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because I think if you compare Harry Kane to Grealish, I think they would need Harry Kane more than Jack Grealish.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, they need an out-and-out striker. If I'm Pep Guardiola, I wouldn't bang on Jesus to get me 20 to. I wouldn't bang on Jesus to get me 30 goals a season.
Or
I
even
would
Grealish,
bang on Harry Kane. Yeah, I would bang on Harry Kane to do that with the kind of support that he has. So, 8 out of 10, 7 or 8 out of 10 for the club.
Okay, over to you, Mr. JB. Jack Grealish to Man City for 100 million. Is it a good buy or is it a mixed buy?
There's a lot. There's a lot that can be said. The price tag, ridiculous price tag. I mean, this is just Englishman. I mean, it's just, again, it's the English hype from Harry Maguire and everything else. It seems like, I don't know how the English stock market works, but everything seems to be going up in price. So price, I don't know. I mean, if I'm Aston Villa, it's definitely 100 out of 100 for me because it's 100 million for Aston Villa. So
They
so
got a
for
lot of
sure.
money to spend now this summer.
Yeah, so
And they
I
just
mean,
brought in Leon B, I believe, which is like a quality signing.
yeah, price wise, okay, all right. I mean, Grealish, yes, he has qualities here and there. He can improve. I would say. Although I do feel that for me personally, I still haven't really seen him to his potential. So I would say Man City is probably gambling on that as well. I mean, not saying that it's a bad signing or anything like that so early on in this stage, but we've seen previously, I think it was Andy Carroll, I think, who went to Liverpool from Newcastle. That thing was pretty hyped too.
Yeah.
But eventually, he didn't really prove himself.
Yeah, that was a bit of a one season one.
Yeah, exactly. People were talking about, Andy Carroll, this and that. Okay, I mean, but to be fair to Jack Grealish, we are talking about two different players. So yeah, I do feel that Grealish has the potential. Price tag, a bit too much for me. Quality wise, I've yet to see the full potential of him. But yes, he can do it. And I agree with Harun Nazri on the fact that if you look at Man City's midfield, where is he? Like, how is he gonna fit in? Like, there's definitely gonna be some form of rotation, which is, I'm not sure if it's good or bad for a player of his caliber. And he's 100 million. He better start every week. You better be playing like my El Capitan Harry Maguire. You better play all 38 games, and you better show up because 100 mil. But I mean, the midfielder, again, to me, City is just doing this purely just to fill up their Englishman quota, I believe. Because if you look at their Englishman quota, it hasn't been great. They are quite lucky to have Foden and all those. So I
Yeah.
believe they will definitely want to secure, a contract extension quickly for them. But the rest of the players, most of them are not Englishmen. So yeah, I'm not sure their academy wise how they're doing it. Raheem Sterling probably have one more season left, and there are also rumors of him going out. So there goes another Englishman. So I think just Man City is just doing it, just to fill up that quota as well. So again, I mean, I feel that Man City currently without Jack Grealish is already, a very has very good squad depth already. And yes, I agree with Nazri as well. They would definitely need a striker more than someone like Jack Grealish, because their creative midfielder is already there. You have Gundogan, you have Kevin De Bruyne, you have Phil Foden coming up. All this, quality players. So all this rotation, I'm not sure how it's going to fit in. It'll be quite interesting to see how Pep will try to fit him in. But yeah, that's my take. I believe for the player, for Jack Grealish, yeah, he used the usual template, the template signing that, oh, I made a deal with Aston Villa that if next season, if you guys don't get Champions League position and someone from Champions League position try to sign me, that's it. I'm
Yeah, I
packing my
mean,
bag.
it's a step up for him for sure.
Yeah, but let's be real about it. You're playing for Aston Villa. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, just to be fair, yeah. So I think for him personally, it's a good move. He's 25. It's his stage now. I mean, he has the stage to himself. So if he can really prove himself, he'll likely be the next big thing. So yeah, for him, I will give an 8 out of 10. For City, I will give a 5 out of 10, because this is purely a gamble, and I believe after they spend that 100 mil. And then, we heard about the news that Barcelona choose not to, re-sign Messi. I think Pep is probably, asking with his financer or
Asking
or
for
the
a
HR
refund,
team and go
maybe.
like, yeah, probably go like, oh shit, have you banked in the check already? Can we get, at least 20 million back? So yeah, so that's my take.
All right, Mr. Jeff, over to you. Just a quick word on Jack Grealish to Man City before we move on to the big man in the biggest news among all. But like I do understand from both Harun Nazir and Mr. JB point of view, they say that Jack Grealish, where is he gonna fit in? But my perspective suddenly comes in and say that, to be fair, they have Rodri, Gundogan, and all Kevin De Bruyne all there. None of them are as injury prone compared to Grealish. Grealish is more injury free compared to all of them. So would you consider this as just more of a standby, or is this really a permanent replace for those injury players that they commonly have throughout the season? Like, what do you think of the move?
I think the one of the things that I'd like to experiment. So this may fit into one of his Pet have as part of his
Okay, share with
plans
us.
of
Yeah.
experimenting a play. I mean, it's just the way he's doing stuff, right? He take it as a personal challenge to develop players, to bring them to the next level. I mean, every manager, right? If they can look at Raheem Sterling, right? I think that is one of the success story of Pep Guardiola.
One of a gamble, yes. Yeah.
I don't say it's a gamble, but Sterling is not going to win anything in Liverpool at the time when he left. And when he first came into City, he struggled because that City team was also quite good. I mean, it was the stars of the day when Raheem Sterling came in. And what happened to Sterling now? He's one of the very key players, both at clubs and both at international. So I think Pep kind of like to take raw diamonds and try to make them much better
So is
players.
this
So I
similar
think
like how Joshua Kimmich in Bayern Munich and him, kind of like that?
yeah. So he has the thing with the club that he wants to make it good, and he also have the thing with individual players that he feels that he can also help and make impact. So I think it's one of those
That stuff, yeah.
pet project,
That project.
that he has as part of his own interest. So I think that's one thing. And given also Grealish is 25, there's always resale value. If it fails, how much can they lose? It won't go down to zero for sure, and there's somebody that's gonna pick him up. So I think that's and the prices is always gonna go up. Englishman, blah blah blah. So I think if the move isn't going to be a successful one, it's not they're going to lose 100 million. They're probably going to lose 20 million or 30 million, and that's not bad, right?
Yeah.
But I think the other part of it is Man City now, I feel, also wants to make sure that they are challenging every competition.
Yeah.
Be it even those funny World Club Cup tournament. I think they would want to fill up the trophy cabinet as much as they can. And the only thing to do that, given and also most of their players are international players, they go out, they may get injured and come back. So there's a lot of variables around there. I feel he will get enough time to do it. I do think maybe this season he may not have a full impact like Sterling did, but in subsequent season when he kind of settles in, he's probably going to have a bigger impact. One thing I feel that Pep is lucky enough because his squad is good. So it's very difficult to see Man City going into a 4 matches losing streak. Very, very difficult for us to imagine that. Which means translate into Pep job is kind of secure.
Yeah.
Right. So his only failures is going to be whether he wins trophies or not. Because that's the standard that was expected.
Yeah.
So I think for Jack Grealish, I think it's okay. I think it's definitely good move for Jack. If it happens well, he can be a more consistent start at the international level and so on. In terms of City, I don't see it that bad for them as well, because if he's successful and Pep managed to bring him to the next 2-3 levels up, he's definitely going to be much more much more worthy. Maybe not just on transfer fee, but even endorsements and things like that would be because that guy got style. Okay, he
has his own
so what
persona kind. Yeah.
persona exactly. So beyond the footballing part, he has the style, the socks, the
It's kind of like David Beckham last time, but modern era maybe.
Exactly. So he has a different kind of pool in compare. Like you saw the English play. I mean, players, it's the same. But he got his own guile. He got his own personality. So trust me, not all decision is all about footballing these days. There's a lot of other things around it. So I think for the club, if they manage to market him well and they manage to bring him to the next level, I think, and they have the manager who can do it. I think that's why they are taking the risk. So I would say it's 10 for Grealish, 8.5 for the club.
All right, 8.5. All right, time to talk for the last player for the day before we go to the question of the day. This is not a rating because we can't rate. We have no idea where this man is going, but we're going to play a bit of prediction about where he's going to go. So, and that man is Lionel Messi, finally leaving Barcelona after he started in Barcelona from 2004 and he's leaving in 2021. That's how long he's been there. And the Twitter, the media just explode. So I'm gonna start with you first, Mr. Jeff. Do you see this day actually come? And if you did, where will he end up now? He's a free agent.
Yeah, I do expect this. I mean, it was on the rocks already last season.
Yeah.
I think he already packed his bags last season. But somehow or other, I think credit to Messi, he took the higher road and actually honor his contract because that is written. So I think, but whatever it is, there's always going to be a bad taste in the mouth when this kind of incident happens. So anything that happen next season is going to be a trigger that will go out. So is it unexpected? Not really. I think it's it's more expected than Ramos leaving Madrid, I would say. So that's my perspective. Where he's going to end up, as we are speaking, there are a lot of reports saying a Qatari team, Al Sadd, reported to offer Lionel Messi $1 billion for 3 years.
Wow.
So he may end up in Qatar and playing football in Qatar.
Hey, he might be there in the World Cup itself. I mean,
exactly. Stay there, get acclimatized, and then wait for welcome Argentina team and
win the World Cup
there. So that's my bet. Given the latest tweet as we are coming out about a Qatari club, Al Sadd, offering $1 billion. It's getting ridiculous, but I will say it. $1 billion for 3 years.
$1
Ridiculous
billion
amount of
for
money.
a human being with a pair of legs. That is.
Yeah. And hope it's not broken.
Yeah, I was hoping you actually might say Geylang, but all right, fine. Outside it is.
We don't have $1 million even, so don't bother.
All right, over to you, Harun. So outside will be your prediction, right, Mr. Jeff?
Alsat, maybe $1 million is gonna be Alsat for sure.
The Arab money is what he's going for. Harun Nazri, over to you. Where will Lionel Messi ended up in towards the end of his career?
Look, if there was a player that I think is going to stick to one club throughout his entire career, I believe it would have been Messi. But it's a bit sad that this had to happen. He grew up there. He started his, I won't say he started his footballing journey there, but he developed as a player over there. It's quite sad to see him go. I wanted him, we have Ronaldo and then we have Messi. Messi, I wanted him to be the one club man throughout, playing as at the top of his top football throughout his entire career in one club. And then we have Ronaldo, the man who goes for challenges with different clubs in different countries. I wanted Messi to be that man that stays in one club, and then he will be a person that kids can look up to in terms of loyalty and all that thing. But if you're asking me where he's gonna go, this has happened before. When rumors and talks of him leaving, blah, 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 and then he stayed. Last season was not the first time that this happened. There were times that this happened before.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give I'm going to go with two choices.
Okay.
Alsat is not one of it. I think, of course, with the Alsat thing.
Oh yeah, wait, I'm just curious.
helps.
Where do you get that source or report from, Mr. Jeff? Sorry to interrupt.
It's in the tweet just posted just a few minutes ago.
It's a tweet.
But, hey, guess what? Savi.
Does it have verified thing or is it some random source?
Yeah.
Do you know Savi?
Yeah.
His
Xavi
mentor
Hernandez.
is in Alsat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is what actually I wanted to say. I think the rumors with Alsat and all this is because Xavi Hernandez is there, and I believe the owners of the Alsat squad, Qatar was once a sponsor for Barcelona as well.
Yeah.
Right. They have some links. That's why I think Barcelona has this thing where they have a sponsorship with Rakuten. That's why now you see Iniesta in Japan playing for Vissel Kobe, whose owner is the Rakuten's founder. And Barcelona have this thing. I'm not gonna go with Alsat. I have two choices. It's either one. This is all just to I think whatever that we see Barcelona coming out with the story that Messi is leaving, it's just to push the blame to the player and then make the player feel a little bit sad, and then he will end up staying at Barcelona. I think it all boils down to the fact that he has to reduce his wages, something like that, and that is why all these things sparked off.
Fair play rules.
Yeah, and I think this is where everything sparked off. And I read somewhere. I'm sorry if I'm going too long on this, but if you guys read along, players like Piqué, Busquets, Sergi Roberto, all these players are in talks to renew their contracts, but not because their contracts are finishing, but to reduce their wages to help the club. So I think this stems from that as well. So I'm going to go with two. It's either he's going to stay put at Barcelona and be the person that Kicks looked up to in terms of loyalty and football. Or secondly, I'm going to go with he moves to Atletico to join his good friend Luis Suarez, and to join up with Diego Simeone,
Atletico Madrid.
who is a keen admirer of Lionel Messi, who always speaks well of Lionel Messi. I want to see him personally. I want to see him go to Atletico, change all the all the stigma that Atletico that comes with Atletico being the pragmatic side, being the defensive side. I want it to be a challenge for Simeone. If, say, example, Messi does go there, how then does he tweak things around? And who knows, Messi going there, it's a free transfer,
Yeah.
It's a free transfer. He can go to anywhere in the world.
It's a free transfer with a monstrous wage. We have to remember.
But I think Messi has come to a point in his life. I think I think he went on holiday with Cesc Fabregas and Luis Suarez, his good friend. I think they had a talk over in Ibiza or on a yacht. And I think they would have stopped, and Luis Suarez would have told him, dude, you're at the peak. You're really the greatest player of all time. What's money to you? Come to Atletico, reduce your wages, come and play with me.
Just
And
for
we'll
fun.
continue winning together as a
Kickback.
friend. Yeah, just for fun, man. Just do it for fun. So yeah, it's either
Then
he
I
stays
would
at
say El
Barcelona.
Clasico wouldn't be interesting anymore. Half of the stadium would be supporting Atletico. Then it would be just a
Yeah.
Madrid derby.
So yeah, it's either he stays at Barcelona. My take is either he's gonna stay at Barcelona and this is all just hype. Or secondly, if there's a wish for me to see him go anywhere, I would, really want to see him at Atletico. But Al-Sadd will be interesting as well.
Al-Sadd will be
He's
there.
coming, dude. He's coming to Asia, man. There's madness. So yeah,
Mr.
AFC
JP.
will be interesting.
Sorry.
Yeah,
AFC
AFC.
matches will be interesting.
AFC Champions League, Lionel Messi, Iniesta.
Yeah, Tampines will play
Tampines
with
too.
Lionel Messi.
Crazy,
Lion
crazy.
City Sailors if they qualify next year.
Hey, why not? I mean, the possibility is
Ah,
there,
you
you know? Now, okay, you know what? Yeah, I might go for
Outside.
outside. Mr. JV, sorry to keep you waiting. Do you agree with any one of us? Or do you have your own choice of where Messi will ended up?
Well, after hearing all these rumors and all, I'm more of a conspiracy theorist. Okay,
Okay.
let's be real.
Okay.
I am known as Mr. Unpopular Opinion. All right.
All right.
So without any surprises, let me just throw it out there. Coincidentally, right, among these myths of where Messi is going, MotoGP legend Valentino Rossi just retired. So I think Messi is gonna join MotoGP to take over Valentino Rossi.
Well, what kind of prediction is it?
I don't know, man. I mean, like what? I mean, I can agree with Mr. Jeff and and Harun Nazri as well. I mean, you see Messi as he's almost like Superman, like that Barcelona jersey is already like imprint in him.
Yeah.
It's difficult to see him wearing any other colors. I mean, for that matter, any other club crest for that matter.
Maybe
So-
outside might make a Barcelona jersey for.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think if I'm the Barcelona owner or whoever who's having difficulty or liaising with this contract, probably take a loan from Assad or something and keep him in the club. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a better interest for everyone, because really he's meant to be there. Of course, yeah, there are talks about he should have gone earlier or whatever, blah blah blah, those kind of things. But yeah, it'll be very very interesting to see where he ends up. Of course, MotoGP is not one of those things lah. I would definitely prefer him to see. To see him in the English Premier League, honestly speaking, because I believe this is a league where it's the most watched in the world and everything else. Can you imagine the amount of revenue Premier League will be making with Messi around? Because
Whichever club that he
easily,
goes, I think that club will make more money than anything.
yeah, for sure. I mean, just based on jersey sales, but I don't know. I just see Messi as those loyal lah. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, for him, money.
So is he gonna stay free agent? Is it like what Mario says, stay free agent until he can join Barcelona again?
Yeah, exactly. I think so. He'll probably have some business, or probably just retire a while, 1-2 season, take a break before joining back Barcelona, or probably just retire from football and probably join the back ranks of Barcelona as a technical director, whatever, advisor, blah blah blah. Yeah, probably that. But yes, if there's a wish for me to see him play, I would want to see him play in the Premier League. Who knows now? Aston Villa is 100 million. Why not? Why not? Just saying, why not? Why not?
Yeah,
Help out
you
Villa.
can pay the wage with it. Yeah.
Yeah, but why not?
I mean, on the jersey. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, Aston Villa will probably take loans from the rest of the club, just to help pay Messi wages for the benefit of the Premier League. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, and
I mean,
Pep will
they
probably regretting signing Grealish by then.
Yeah, I mean they done the same with Ronaldo to Juventus, right? I heard Ferrari pumping money, Lamborghini, whatever, all kinds of brands, Kimball tomato sauce. I don't know. All the brands are just chipping in money just for his wages or his transfer fee.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Kind
So
of like
for me, honestly,
companies, getting all the companies to sign Jermaine Pennant. Remember that?
yeah. Yeah. Of course, who can forget that?
I mean,
But
Pennant was
hearing
our
from
Messi in SPL at one point.
yeah, but hearing from Mr. Jeff, the fact that Asia is a possible it's a possible destination for Messi. please come to Asia, Messi. Please, I don't care. India, China, you just come here, man. Just come over to Asia. You know what I'm saying? Just you will definitely make everybody's day. And yeah, I would love to see again Lion City Sailors or Joe Darul Takzim or whoever going up against him. That'll be a dream match. That'll be a dream match. But yeah, honestly, for me, I personally see he's either gonna stay in Barcelona or just, I don't know, just retire altogether and don't play.
All right.
The Santi Cazorla is also at outside.
Oh yeah, Santi is still there.
Yeah. Santi Cazorla, yes. That's right.
He won't retire this season. He has to do the World Cup thing.
He has
sure.
to play the World Cup. So.
And I think he has that fight in him. I don't think he's going to retire. I think he still wants to play. I think he still feels.
For me, I think there's two options. Yeah, if you really want to wait out and join Barcelona when their financial is better, the one destination you should go, just go back Argentina league for what? Just go back to your hometown where everyone worship him even more than Maradona now. Build that league again. That Boca Junior and River Plate, who knows? Tevez is still playing in Boca Juniors. I mean, I'm sure he has a lot of friends there, That could be the one place that he could play. I'll
but I'm not sure
a bit of a shout.
I'm not sure if his legs can endure it.
But not Aston Villa. Midlands versus Barcelona, he go crazy.
I mean, Aston Villa in the Champions League.
No stars are going to go anywhere outside of London.
That's true.
The closest is Manchester United or City because there's enough money there. Anywhere else, any stars will not go. The lifestyle is going to be crazy.
Yeah, but I'm surprised none of us mentioned PSG though. I mean, PSG was the first in contact with him after the confirmation of his free agent. But is PSG gonna splash the cash again?
They might. They might.
I mean, they're scared of training fights between Ramos and Messi.
Oh yeah. Too much animosity.
There's too many bad vibes already.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bad
during
vibes
training, they may think it's an El Clasico, and during training, they may give one another.
Yeah. Especially if the captain unbanned happens to transfer from Marquinhos to Ramos. Yeah, I think it'll be a problem there.
Can you imagine between Messi and Ramos, how many El Clasico have they played?
Yeah. And you'll be even more awkward when both Ramos and Messi playing together against with all the bigger clubs. Like it's even more awkward, is it? Like, I don't know.
But that's interesting though. Yeah. You get him in PSG and then PSG in the same group as Barcelona and Real Madrid. Woohoo!
Wow, what a reunion.
What a reunion. Well, with that being said, thank you guys.
Welcome party.
Yeah, it's a welcome party. Yeah, thank you guys so much for actually watching the Football Focus SG podcast. Of course, we would like to end this with a question of the day. We're gonna stick a little bit to SPL team kind of question for now. Previously, I did ask who's your favorite Singapore player of all time. So I just want to ask Mr. Jeff quickly, for your case, who's your favorite Singapore player of all time? Before I go to the question of the day.
Of all time or this season so far?
You can give both if you want. Current and
I'll stick to this season. I would say the local player I will pick Hami from Lion City because Hami from Young Lions. Because I think he has been important for Young Lions and all the good things
that
we see
really
coming out for Young Lions. He's involved one way or the other. So I think the consistency there, I think it's good. Hopefully, we definitely need some refresh in central midfield in our international games. And he wasn't quite shabby in Saudi according to reports. So so I feel that for this season definitely somebody that we can look forward to see having more bigger impact for the remaining round 3. I think we are getting into round 3 soon. But overall for Singapore football, I think he is somebody that I like to see and impress me this season.
Nice. All right. So the question of the day for you guys: we have seen a lot of foreign players coming in and out of SPL. So my question for you guys is, who's the best foreign import player to play in the SPL? I know there's a lot. I mean, just to name a few, like Durich, um, Agu Kasmir, Itimi Dixon, Jermaine Pennant, all Tomoyuki Doi this season. You know, a lot of very good foreign players that played in SPL. But among all the foreigners, who would you consider the best foreign player ever to play in SPL? I think for my choice personally, I picked Durich because not only in SPL level, even on international level, he kind of proves to be one of those players that can deliver at times, not at the later age of his career, but of course at the point of time at his prime, he's tall, he's big, he has a presence of what a striker should, you know. To give a few shout out, like maybe Shi Jai, he's actually really solid for Singapore as well. I think he played really well. Chu Lim, yeah, a lot of other names, some Thailand players as well. The Sachaiman back then played really well in SPL, S League back then. So gonna go to Mr. JB first. Who's your considered the best foreign import player that plays in Singapore Premier League?
For me, it's quite a long list lah, but I mean, at the top of my head, the one that I clearly remembered and fondly am a huge fan of is Egmar Gonzalez. During his time at Home United, and controversial aside, he
I mean,
he's done well both on and off the pitch. Let's not talk about off the pitch, but on the pitch in particular, on the pitch.
on pitch.
Yeah, on the pitch. I mean, I fondly remember that because I think in the early 2000s was when the S League was quite in its heyday, and I was following it very closely. And I believe he scored like 100 plus goals, probably in the 150 goal range, that kind. So yeah, so I believe he, to me, is one of the better foreign imports to play our league. I mean, for the goals that he scored, and yeah, I'm a big fan of him. Although I'm not sure whether he did eventually play for Singapore. I don't recall. Probably he did, but yeah. But even if he did, it's just a short stint. But yeah, but I think for his club contribution for the league, I think he's one of the better players for me.
All right, Harun Nazri, over to you. Question of the day: best foreign player to ever play in Singapore Premier League or for Singapore?
Okay, I can point out one. I have three in mind.
Okay.
I have three in mind. One of them I had the chance to play together with. So the three that I have in mind is Tetsak Chaiman. Tetsak Chaiman, when he was playing for SAF, brilliant. And I remember just a bit of story. I went to pre-season with Tampines and we played against Chonburi when he already went back to Thailand. We had a pre-season friendly and we had a match. I didn't play that match. I didn't start that match. I spent 95 minutes of the match just watching Tetsak Chaiman. I didn't follow the ball. I only followed the way he moved. I followed the way he controlled the ball, the way he touched the ball, the way he passed, the way he sprayed passes, the way he slowed down the game. Brilliant. Such a brilliant mind. Tetsak Chaiman. Number two, Sutis Uskomkit. Had the chance to train with him. Bird, we call him Bird. Had the chance to train with him. Had the chance to play with him. Had the chance to saw him train. The one thing that stood out for me, the level of discipline that he had before and after training. When we came to training, before training, when we are getting ready to go out on the field, he'll do his push-ups, sit-ups without fail. I think I played together with him for 2 seasons, trained with him for 2 or 3 seasons, without fail, push-ups, sit-ups before and after training. And the thing that was most humbling to me was after every training session, he would be sitting down by the side. At the Old Tampines Stadium, we had a piping system by the side and he would be scraping his own boots just by himself. You don't see that often. And thirdly, I think this is a name that's not common with a lot of players, but those of you who support Home United back in the days when Coca-Cola was still sponsoring them, there was this player from Ivory Coast, Koni Hamid, brilliant player. First time I saw the way that he was with the ball, I think I was in my teens or 18, 19, around there, I'm not too sure. He came with Diakite, this centre back, central player, center defensive player. But Koni Hamid, brilliant. I think he's still playing right now in J2, Japanese League 2. brilliant player. I've never seen. He was the first player that stood out to me in terms of flair in local football. So these three, Tetsak, Suti, Kone Hamid, brilliant players.
Nice. Lastly to you, Mr. Jeff, who is the
I,
best foreign player?
I would say the best will be at the World Cup. So it will be Geylang players. It will be Kapo and Hamid Riza Esteli who represented. I mean,
Yeah.
that is the only one that played in our local league, get selected for the national team and actually play in the World Cup, US 90. So I would say in terms of achievement and accolades, you cannot get higher than that. But I do agree with you. I think as a player that impact the league, but impact Singapore football as a whole, it can only be Durich. I think the fact that how he came into the scene and contributed back, I always have that respect for him. The fact that that he's going to stay here. He stayed a lot around. JB did say it about Egma. I think we have 3 strikers that we convert into Singaporean: Egma, Grobovac, and
Special
Durich.
mention, Mirko Grabovac,
And they are basically banging 20-30 goals every season, and we got them. And you know who are the mercenaries, get the money and then go off. But he stayed and he made Singapore home. So in terms of the impact he had in the league, on the field, and post footballing career, I think that no one stayed as long as Agma and has the impact overall. So credits to him on that part.
Would you consider Barry Maguire or Moraes to be in that list soon? Or
No way.
No.
No way. As good as this player we have seen now, honestly, at the start of the S League, we had better players. People like as good as Barry Maguire is, just like what Nazri said, some of the players he mentioned, and even some of the Geylang players from the yesteryear, he won't make it into the team. In all honesty.
That's true.
Even the locals, you're gonna have issues against some of the locals.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
Right. So, well, it's the luck of the player, time and the time where they come into the scene, right?
I think the timing is just kind of perfect for Durich to just kind of, at that point of time, I think, would you consider foreign back then in the early 2000s better than the foreign that we get now in this decade?
Yeah, I would say even before, I think we were lacking. There's only 1 or 2 names at that time, Indra Shadan being one. But you can't bank on one player if you're going for international glory.
Yeah.
So that's why we got those top S League top scorers to be Singaporeans to lead the line as well. To complement Indra, to complement Noah Alam Shah at that time, and yeah, we were lacking in that department because previously we always have the reliable Fandi and his crew, Sundram and so on. So we do have quite an attacking force. Even at the midfield, we have people who can score. We got scoring midfielders in the late 80s, early 90s, but that kind of dried up after a while, and that's why we need these foreign talents to help us.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Jeff, for the insight. And with that being said, we have come to the end of this Football Focus SG podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining. Do like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Do follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Mr. Jeff, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. I thought you were going on somewhere already. but yeah, we really hope to have you back with us again. Harun Nazri and Mr. JB again. Thank you guys again for being back, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone.